Hey, Casa Adobe's Pastor John here, and I want to talk to you a little bit about what we're doing for Fun Day School and what our lesson is this week. So this week, we are talking about the bread of life, and that's why I'm on this special screen today, because we are talking about the bread of life. Last week, we talked about how Jesus fed 5,000 people, and it was beyond their expectations. And part of it was because the little boy was able to share his lunch and give the basis of that wonderful, wonderful meal. And there was a miracle. And I like to think that everybody sharing and everybody taking part, having a place in a miracle, everybody was able to be fed. So this week, we have two stories about bread. First story is after that miracle of the 5,000, Jesus goes across the lake. And it's a big lake, it's like a sea. And he's going, and all the people are following him. And so they finally catch up to Jesus, and Jesus said, "Why are you following me?" And they said, "Because we want more. We want to follow you and do things the way that you're talking about." And Jesus said, "No," he said, "you're following me because I fed you." It's like the joke that people sometimes say about, if you feed children or cats, you never get rid of them. And so Jesus is sort of, I think Jesus is sort of teasing them, saying, well, it's because I filled your bellies and you're happy. But, when you get hungry again, you're going to be same old people that you were. They're like, no, tell us what to do. And Jesus said, well, I am the bread of life. You need to eat the bread of heaven. And they're like, well, what's the bread of heaven? What sign? He said, well, when your ancestors were in the desert with Moses, you were hungry, and God gave you what's called manna in the desert, and you were able to eat and you were able to thrive. Now, the thing with the manna is you weren't able to hoard it. You weren't able to collect it up and save it and get selfish with it. You had to let it go and only take how much you needed. Well, this is a sign. And they're like, well, what sign should we look for? He said, look to me, because I am the bread of life. And if you eat this bread, you'll never go hungry. The reason why you never go hungry is because it's the way of love. It's a way of sharing. It's a way of being together. And you know what? Just like in that miracle I talked about last week, everybody having a part in that miracle, the little boy sharing the blessing and everybody being able to eat and have a part in it. Paul, in a letter to a church in a place called Ephesus, was a Greek city, he talks about how the church is a community, and the wonderful thing about the church is everybody has a part in it. Some people teach, some people preach, some people say, you know what, this is wrong, we need to help people. Some people take care of the building. Some people work on money. There are all sorts of parts to be in the church. Some people give hugs. So anyway, this is the way of Jesus. And so I'm here with this window because this window is in our church, and it reminds us that Jesus is the way. He's the bread of life. So this Sunday, we will talk about all the ways that we are nourished by God, and how Jesus gives us what we need, and we're able to share and live in community just the way Paul says. So another thing is this Sunday is Communion Sunday. So we are having communion. I was going to wear my stole, but this stole is kind of funny because it's really big, but it has the communion cup and bread on it. It's a nice stole, but it's a little bit big for me today. So anyway, if you have a chance, grab a little something to eat, have a little something to drink nearby, and we will gather in community, all parts of the church together, your part too, and we will have communion. So feed yourself on the bread of life, and we will be together in Fun Day School. As always, I would like you to be well, be safe, and of course, be a blessing. Peace.